In this video, I'll show you how to set up a reprefix conversion, and what that really means is if you have a unit prefix, metric unit prefix, you have to convert from the prefixed unit to the base unit, and then you would use that to convert to the next prefixed unit. So you have two prefixed units, you have to convert to the base unit first, and that means that you will have two conversion factors. So examples. First example is we're going to convert 7.1, negative 7.1 times 10 to the fifth milliliters to deciliters. So notice how we have a prefixed unit right here, milliliters, and another prefixed unit. When you look at your conversion chart, we don't have a conversion that goes from deci to centi, or from centi to milli, or from milli to micro. What we have to do is convert to the base unit first. And so the strategy is to go from milliliters to liters, and then from liters to deciliters. So we need the conversion factors to go from milliliters to liters, and then from liters to deciliters. And the conversion factor for milliliters to liters is 1 milliliter is 10 to the negative third liters. To go from liters to deciliters, we have 1 deciliter is equal to 10 to the negative 1 liters. And so now what we have to do is kind of set this conversion up like a puzzle. We know we're going to have two conversion factors, so we'll go ahead and set it up like that. And give yourself a little bit of extra space just to be safe. So we have two fractions. Notice how we start with milliliters. So we want to have milliliters on bottom, that way they cancel. Remember, we're going from milliliters to liters, so if we have milliliters on bottom, we want liters on top. In the next conversion factor, we're going from liters to deciliters. So if we have liters on top, we would put liters on bottom, that way they can cancel. Anything divided by itself is 1. And then we put deciliters on top. Now let's go in and plug in the numbers. First, 1 milliliter is equal to 10 to the negative third liters. Well, look at the number right here. I have 1 milliliter. So since I have 1, I would write 1. 10 to the negative third liters. So 10 to the negative third. Milliliters over milliliters cancels. Next conversion factor, deciliters over liters. So I have liters on bottom, so that these liters will cancel because I'm ultimately looking for deciliters. So liters, right here on my conversion factor, liters is 10 to the negative 1. So I would write 10 to the negative 1. And then deciliters on top, 1. 1 deciliter. Liters cancels. Milliliters are gone. Liters are gone. The only unit I have left over is deciliters. Okay, next example. Next example, I'm trying to convert from newtons over centimeters to newtons over millimeters. So basically it's the same idea. All we're doing is just converting from one prefixed unit to another, which means I have to convert from this prefixed unit to the base unit, and then from the base unit to the prefixed unit. So that's my strategy. I'm going from centimeters to meters, and then from meters to millimeters. You may have already noticed that newtons stays the same. So I just have to convert centimeters to meters, meters to millimeters. I'm only worried about the denominator here. I leave the numerator alone. Our conversions, one centimeter is equal to 10 to the negative 2 meters, and that gets me from centimeters to meters. The next conversion is 1 millimeter is equal to 10 to the negative third meters. That gets me from meters to millimeters. So we'll do the same thing we did before. We know we'll have two conversion factors because if anytime you have two prefixed units, that's going to give you, you will need two conversion factors. So if you start off with a prefixed unit like centimeters, and you end up with a prefixed unit like millimeters, then you have to have two conversion factors. We're going to set this up like a puzzle. Notice how centimeters are on bottom. Well, I want centimeters on top in this conversion factor, and I want that because this needs to cancel. Anything over itself cancels, whether that's a number, a unit, a symbol, it doesn't matter. Anything divided by itself is 1, so that cancels. I'm going from centimeters to meters, so I would put meters right here. In the next conversion factor, I have meters on the bottom in the first one, so I want meters on the top in the second one. If I have meters on top, since I'm going from meters to millimeters, I would put millimeters on the bottom. So now let's look at our conversion factors. Meters, 10 to the negative second. So write 10 to the negative second. Centimeters, I would write 1. In the next one, we have millimeters on bottom, meters on top. Millimeters, it's 1 millimeter. And then 10 to the negative third meters. So I have meters on top, 10 to the negative third. And so again, the basic idea is you have to convert to the base unit first and use two conversion factors. And on this particular Alex, we have no calculations. Hopefully that helps.